going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Double M Racing. It has been a little while. It's been a couple weeks since the last post, since we made a video. Haven't even touched the car since the last video you seen there when we took the engine out. So I figured today probably be a good time to get the body off. It's a gorgeous day outside, so get the body off, inspect the roll cage, start cutting off the front of the front clip and see if we can maybe figure out exactly what all is damaged besides the front clip and the trans tunnel. So we'll start taking this thing apart, see what we can figure out. Alright, taking a quick pause to show you what I've found so far. Rear end, everything in the rear looks perfect. I spun the axles, everything spins smoothly, freely, nothing's bent back here in the back. Everything looks perfect back there. We are perfect everywhere till we get to right here. This is where we start having intrusion into the car. You can see that bar's bent in. Trans tunnel bars are bent in. Of course, the floorboards all bent up and waved, probably because of that. Like we were talking earlier, in one of the past videos, I mean, you can see everything is connected on this entire thing. This is one solid framed, it's a big ass roll cage with wheels and a motor on it. That's all this thing is. And so my prayers is that this damage here is what's causing the doors not to be able to shut. And so when I get that cut off, we'll see. I do have, you can see that's been in right there. Sorry if I stray off here. I'm bad about looking away and what I'm talking about. I do have just a slight, tiny little dent there you can see. But what's crazy to me is everything else looks straight. I mean, that's following the line it's supposed to. It's straight up until it gets right in front of the motor mount there. It's where it starts cranking over. And over here, it's straight till just past your shock tower. starts cranking over. But it did break off the lollipop there, which is that on this side. Broke that off. I don't believe it is safe. Yeah, I got a dent in right there too. You can see that. When you're dealing with your front end, I don't believe it's safe to do any kind of splicing anywhere in here. If you're gonna do the whole front clip, you know, you may just have to do one side, but I think you've got to come all the way back here, cut out that rail, and replace that whole side. Obviously, our shock tower is gonna have to be straightened up. It's bent backwards. That one's fine over there. But, so yeah, that's kind of what today's about, is discovering exactly what all the damage is. So I'm gonna break out my grinder. I'm gonna cut this off. I'm gonna cut that loose. And I'm gonna try to get the whole front subframe cut off and see if I can't start getting some stuff bent back into position to kind of see where the doors line up. The rest of the cage looks just fine. I mean, it didn't do anything to the rest of the cage. So that's the goal. We're just giving you kind of a heads up midway through here. Okay, what you've seen me beating on here, this is the tube that the fuel line comes up through. It runs all the way to the back. As you can see, it took the big bend in there. It used to just run straight, kind of at an angle, kind of like that. It just followed that bottom line out. And so what I think I'm gonna have to do is, that's not bending out good. That's just bending in. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is cut it back here, cut that whole thing off, replace this tube, and then that way I can weld it back onto the cage right there as well. So I'll have that full weld there. It'll be welded onto the cage, and then I'll just cut it right there and weld back the trans tunnel mount right there, because that's not straightening out good at all. And then I'll get the flat steel and go back in between those, just like over here, and weld that all back on. Chose to cut off the front. I chose to cut off the front deal. I'm pretty sure you can order these new. If not, this bar over here is pretty mangled. It's got a nasty twist in it, and I don't know if I'll be able to get that back. This isn't a structural deal at all. This is just your firewall that holds all your pedals, all that stuff, and keeps you separated from the deal. So I cut it to where I can put it back on if I need to. If I can't find one, sorry, I did it again. I'm gonna zoom out. I cut it to where I could re-weld it back on there if I need to, but I'm pretty sure I can get this whole thing ordered. I'll have to check into that. And then once I get all this off, I need to get in here and straighten that out. That's what's got my floorboard all bent up. So I think if I can get that back straight, we'll be good to go on the floorboard. Replace that, replace the front clip, and then start piecing her back together again. It's not as bad as last time on the frame. The frame was a little worse last time, I think. I don't know. I didn't get into the trans tunnel last time, but we're not messing with anything on the rear end. all the welds back there that Mike redid are holding good behind the seat, and that new bar that he put in back there. Rear end's good, so I didn't mess anything back there. So to me, it's not as bad as it was last time. It's just pain in the butt to do all this all over again. So anywho, that's where we're at. There you have it. There's my pile of bent and broken pieces. So we got the steering mount bar. Got the frame rails. I need to take that motor mount off. That's still good. That's your left side motor mount, or your right side motor mount. There's that frame rail. We got the shock tower, shock mount. We got the passenger side Nerf bar. Of course, we got the upper steering rack, the front left upper control arm. I'll take the heims out and that end. Those are still good and usable. That was the tube that was connected to there. That's the bar that should be straight like that. That was from the passenger side. We've got the mangled up firewall, which I'll either fix or reuse. That's just a shock bracket. And then the firewall, I'll straighten that out and reuse that. That's still good. I just had to take it off to get everything straight. She's mangled for being brand new. So this is ready for, after I clean it up, I'm gonna get a grinding wheel. I've got one in my trailer, which is not here, but go get my grinding wheel. I cut through brake lines. I'm replacing all of these brake lines. We cobbled it together to get it to work anyways, to get back to the track. So those are shot, but that's all getting replaced. I'm doing away with that proportioner and just doing straight. I hit the brake pedal, everything locks up. That's all I need. I didn't have it proportioned anyways, and that proportioner, if you remember watching the video about getting the car set up, that proportioner wasn't working anyways. It was not applying the brake on the left front whatsoever. It was just doing the right front and the rear. So doing away with that, just going to straight brakes. I don't think I need a proportioner in there. I need to get this straight. I got the floorboard somewhat back in condition, but it's bending down quite a bit there. You might be able to see it underneath. Let's see if we can see it underneath there. Yep. Yeah, you can see that big bend down right there. So I'll pop that back up from the bottom, get this all straightened back out, and then this is actually, your floor pan is welded to this. So I'll get that straightened back out and we'll get that re-welded. Get the new bar put in here, going up to here. Get that welded back in, get another piece of flat iron, go right there. Get that straightened out. I was able to get the doors somewhat back in position, at least where they latch now. They weren't even latching before. I just adjusted the hinges some. This one seems to be kind of cocked back a little bit like that. So, I mean, you can see it's where it used to be compared to where it is. And you can also see, I believe, see how it's flush with the trans tunnel there, and you can see it's about a thumb's width, finger's width wide up there. So I'll get on there and probably take the door skin off, stand on it, see if I can't get it bent back down. My main concern was the roll cage, which the roll cage all seems to be just fine. I mean, I don't see no obvious signs of damage on it to where it's bent or anything. And so I'll do a better look for broken welds and stuff once I get everything cleaned up. But just from my preliminary inspection, I haven't seen any broken welds or anything like that. So I think the roll cage is in good shape, which is the main concern. Everything else can be bent back. If that roll cage is broken or compromised, then your car is no good. So obviously I've rolled one twice now, so I'm pretty concerned about the safety of the roll cage. So I'll give that a good look over, and we'll go from there. But I don't know when I'm going to get the next video made. I'll probably start doing bodywork stuff. You know, most of the hold up on this is financial. It's all money. After spending money to fix it last time, and then, you know, my truck had to have engine work done. I've been bleeding money here the last couple months, and so racing's not a necessity. Everything else is. So I will piece this thing back together as I get the money to fix it. But I wanted to get everything tore down and settle my conscience a little bit to know that my car is not just completely trashed. This is definitely fixable, and so that'll help me sleep a little better tonight. But appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.